What's up, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with Friday Questions and Answers, episode 56. You're probably wondering, what is this? It is a blanket, because it is freezing in here. And I didn't have a shirt on, and I don't want people to complain and be like, whoa, why are you making videos without your shirt on? So I threw a blanket around me, because it's cold anyway. But this week has been very busy for me. If you've noticed, I've had a very dramatic, I guess you could say, lack of videos the past few weeks. But I'm pretty much saying the same things every week. But it's been very busy for me. Actually, I've talked to you about how I have so many jobs going on right now. I actually just got another one this past week, so that's pretty cool. I'll probably explain later what that is, but I don't feel like explaining it right now. But this past week, our school has started spring practice, and I'm actually covering our spring practice for our university's affiliate on 247sports.com, which is pretty cool. So I'm actually getting articles published on 247 Sports, so that's awesome. And but the downside of that is I've been having to wake up at 4:30 every morning. Well, not every morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to get to these practice on times. I live an hour away, gotta wake up, take a shower, do all that stuff, get ready, eat. So about an hour and a half takes me to get ready to go. So I have to leave by 6, get there at 7 when practice starts. And yeah. So it's been tough. I've lost some sleep. I've got like I went to practice only twice last week. I didn't go the first day. But I got like an hour of sleep, or less than an hour of sleep. So that had screwed me up completely. And then I started softball this past week too for a league I'm in, and that's gonna be cool. And I'm actually playing in another league. But what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna get whoever goes there. If anybody goes like to watch me play, I'm getting them to record my at bats. And I'm gonna make a series. This is a promise because this is easy to make. Every Friday, probably maybe from here on out, uploading my at bats from the week. So I was going to do it this past week, but the person that recorded it, my girlfriend, she screwed up when she was recording it. So I'm going to do that every Friday, just upload my at-bats. So that would be pretty cool. But where was I getting at? The spring practices. It was really, this is really cool. I get to go cover it, write my observations for 247 Sports. I get full access. It's media-only practices. I get in, and actually our head coach, Joey Jones, actually came up to me the first day and just was talking to me casually, just introduced himself, asking how I'm doing. And he's really down to earth guy, really nice guy. I was like, if you ever need anything, I'm right here, just give me a holler. And it's just really down to earth. And the whole coaching staff is awesome. Like 4 or 5 of the coaches came up to me and just randomly started talking to me. It was really cool, really good coaching staff. It's awesome being right there in practice, getting to see all the players up close and everything like that. So, and seeing how a Division I college football team operates on a day-to-day basis. So that's awesome, and that's what I've been doing this past week. I'm going to be covering it for the next couple weeks, so that's that. But yeah, the videos have been scarce for me lately, and there's a lot of videos that I wanted to do that might not happen. I'm still planning on doing the top 10 breakdowns for the last 3 positions that I have not done yet, but I don't know when they'll be out. I really wanted to get them out like a month ago, because if that's the case, they'd probably have over thousands of views right now, but I have not been able to do that. And I wanted to do like last year, the MLB predictions where I did each division, but I probably won't be able to do that. I'll probably just put it all into one video because it's already late in spring training. I just got so sidetracked. School's so busy right now. Everything's so busy for me. But I'll probably put one video out, MLB predictions, a full-long video for all my MLB predictions. So that's that. I guess that's about it. And I've been putting a lot of focus and my time into researching and just working out in general, researching what I believe works and researching different methods, because I have this big project that I'm going to do over the summer. I'm going to make a video on it too. A very big project that I'm going to put a lot of time and the effort into, and I'll come at you with a video on that when I decide to do so. It's a theory and a method that I'm going to put long, hard work into for about a 2-3 month period, and see what results I get from that. But I'll come at you with a video further explaining. I just want to give you a little heads up for the people that watch this. So probably some more fitness videos coming out coming out soon, and just some different videos. So I have some stuff to do. I'm going to do a lot of coverage on the NFL draft still. So I just want to get you guys up to date real quick before I got to these questions, because I know it's been a while since I've seeing you guys. So that is that. So let's get into the questions. I gotta actually do this kind of quick, so I have to go to a birthday party in about. I should be leaving like in 30 minutes, but I'm not gonna be able to do that. Man, it's freezing. Dalton sports fan. What is your favorite book of all time? Completely honest, I'm not the one to really enjoy reading. It's probably because, I mean, I'm sure if I read like on my own, it would be fun and fascinating to me. But I think what happens is throughout your grade school years and throughout your college years, you're just forced to read that you just don't want to do it. And I think that's kind of a bad thing because, I mean, reading's a good thing. And I think over time I'll get into reading and enjoy. I mean, I enjoy reading articles, stuff like that, but just never really put the time and effort into picking up books and reading them. But I will say there was one series that I did enjoy throughout my childhood, and that was the Lemony Snicket series, a series of unfortunate events. I read all of them, and it was awesome. It was really cool. All my friends read them at the same time, and we always like to compete so you can finish them first and stuff like that. But that was like the only series I can ever remember enjoying to read. So those books would probably be my favorite. My favorite movie of all time, probably some bias into it, but probably I would have to say Moneyball. Moneyball's not bias. Wow, not Moneyball. Not Moneyball. Fever Pitch. Sorry, I've watched Fever Pitch probably like 10 times. Moneyball's right up there too. Moneyball's probably my second favorite movie, but I would have to say Moneyball probably. Sorry, my mother just called me. Sorry, I can't answer, Mom. Do you have a college football encyclopedia? No, I do not have a college football encyclopedia. My mom's calling my house phone now. Don't you hate it when people do that? They call your cell phone, you don't answer for a reason, so they try to catch you some other way. And then that's going to happen. My father's going to answer. He's going to come to the door, screw up my video, and because my mom's going to try to talk to me, but obviously I'm in the middle of doing something. So if that happens, I'm not quitting this video. I'm just going to tell him that I'm making a video. So, sorry. I can already predict the future. Don't you hate when people do that? And do you think someone will invent or improve helmets to prevent concussions in sports? I mean, I think they're always researching. It's such a big topic now. I think it's going to eventually happen. But from what I've seen, there really isn't anything that can completely eliminate concussions. No matter how you improve helmets, if you're having that helmet-to-helmet contact, there's always going to be a chance of concussion, no matter how good the quality of the product is. So, that's that. Next question. Joe Stork asked, do you go to Allen Bryant High School in Grand Bay? Kinda weirded out by this question, but I graduated from there, actually. Yeah, so don't know how you know that, but I did graduate from there. But I don't go there anymore, and actually it's not in Grand Bay. It's actually considered to be in Irvington. I told you. I am making a video! Told you. I told you that's going to happen. I'm not restarting this video. I knew it. I knew it's going to happen. Alright. Ex-Auburn. Early signing period is being discussed for or against? And really to me it doesn't matter. I think the only benefit really to me that would bring is it would help out kids who commit to a school. Well, wait, no, that would be against. My apologies. If a person signed early, say there was an early signing period in December, they signed in December, the coach could very easily in the next couple months leave and go somewhere else. So the kid would be absolutely screwed if that happens. So that's the reason. That's the only bad thing I can think of off the top of my head that's good for that. The good out of it, probably, I mean, obviously, for kids just to get it over with, it helps the coaches find or know what positions they need to look after the last 2 months in the recruiting process. So there's some good things out of it, and there's a couple bad things. But really, the most diverse and most important thing that would happen out of this would be for the bad, as it could really screw up kids that go to a school because of a coach, and he ends up leaving the next 2 months, and they can do nothing about it because they already signed, unless they made some type of exception for that. So that is that. Next question. DJ Hayes, is Mississippi State a surprise team, or is the SEC too wide open for the definition of surprise? I don't think it's too wide open for a definition of surprise. I mean, obviously, a team like Mississippi State, if they came out and won the SEC, that would be a surprise. I mean, no matter how wide open it's going to be, I mean, obviously, it's I wouldn't say necessarily a lower tier team, but a team doesn't necessarily compete year in and year out for the conference title. If they did really well, that would be a surprise. So I think if they do well, which I think they have a chance to because they bring back a little bit more than a lot of other teams do. I mean, they have a returning quarterback, which is really not really the norm of this season, I guess. If that makes sense. Because I mean, everybody's losing their quarterback. They bring back Dak Prescott, so that's good for them, and he played really well down the stretch. So they have something that hardly any other SEC team does, is a returning quarterback, which is very solid. So I mean, they have some good pieces. They have some good players in defense. They have some solid playmakers. So they always find a good running back. Every single year for the past 5-6 years, I believe they've had a really solid running back. So they'll have some good body come out. I mean, Ladarius Perkins is gone. Probably will make an NFL team, but they'll find somebody back there. And if they could be a surprise team. But obviously, I do think if they finish second or third, I would say, in the SEC West, they would definitely be considered a surprise team, which there is a possibility, I say, that could happen. I would say it's pretty slim, but there is a possibility, like you say, because the SEC is so wide open. I've said that many times before. Josh Steen, can you frame me on Xbox 360 gamertag as FDG Flames? There would really be no point in that, probably, because I never really play Xbox that much right now, and if I do, it's not the Xbox 360. I got Titanfall this past week, and I got it Wednesday, and I got to play it one time for like 20 minutes, so I want to play that. So, yeah, and, I wanted to say, speaking of that, I was going to come at you guys with series from RBI Baseball, the new baseball game coming out for Xbox, and just the new baseball game that it was around in the 90s for the NES and the Sega and Nintendo, I believe. And I had huge expectations for it. Game sucks. They finally came out with screenshots of it. It's horrible. So horrible that it's going to cost only $15. Games cost $60 now. There's not even online play. There's only a season mode, exhibition mode. The players look like little sticks. It's horrible, man. I was so disappointed. So disappointed. I wonder if you can get MLB The Show for PC. Because I might do that. Because I really want to play a baseball game. I've been wanting to play a baseball game forever. That's not been 2K, because 2K is horrible. But it doesn't look like we're going to have it. Ex-Auburn, you should do a preseason first, second, and third team for the SEC, or at least one. I probably will. That is a big plan for me. I have a bunch of preview videos that plan to do for the upcoming college and NFL season. I'm supposed to be doing I want to do a lot of position breakdowns for like top players in college at a bunch of different positions and NFL. And the reason that I actually can do these a lot more often is because they don't take as much work, because I know a lot of the stuff off the top of my head. And for like the breakdowns, like for prospects, I have to do a lot of research on that and different things. For this, I can do a lot of that off the top of my head and take a lot quicker to make. So I could do a lot of those. I'm probably going to do a lot of those. Like, for example, top 10 NFL quarterbacks for the 2014 season, in my opinion, and stuff like that. Running backs, wide receivers, linebackers, defensive backs, defensive linemen. And I can do the same thing for college. So I'll do that. And yes, I'll do stuff like you said. I'll probably do some All-American videos and top 25 videos, conference predictions, just like I had the last 2 years. It's just alright. Right now, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm still. Some of that, I mean, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have some time. Well, actually, the last couple of weeks, I haven't because I've had a lot of stuff to do. But usually, I have time on Tuesdays and Thursdays to make a video if I can feel like it. I can get motivated to do it. But when I have time lately, it's just I've been so tired, and it's just like I haven't got that motivation. But a lot of it is just because I've been extremely busy. All right, DJ Hayes, what's with the shortage of videos lately? Good question. I just answered that earlier, but yeah, it's just a combination of being busy and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I really do want to make videos, but like before, like during the football season, right after, and around the playoffs and everything, if I didn't make a video for like a day, I'll be like, my gosh, it's been forever since I make a video. And now it's like I make a video and it feels like the next day, and I'll check my channel and it's been a week since I made a video. Like the last video I made was the RBT Friday questions and answers video. Like that, I felt like that was made just a couple of days ago. So it feels kind of weird, but I'm trying. I will try. I promise. I'll promise. I will try. All right, Josh Steen asks, what do you think will happen to Texas A&M this season without Johnny Manziel and their horrible defense? Can Ryan Allen bring the team to the NCAA football playoffs? The reason I say no to that is because Johnny Manziel was not even able to have Texas A&M as a top 10 team, really. I'm not sure if Texas A&M actually broke the top 10 while he was there. I don't think they did. But regardless, that's one misconception I believe that kind of irritates me to a point. Is people try to always use the excuse when trying to diminish the SEC and the prestige. They say that Texas A&M, a Big 12 team, came in and ran through the SEC, and that shows how weak the SEC team is. SEC is because a Big 12 team, mid-tier Big 12 team, came in and just ran over the SEC. Texas A&M, I don't believe, ever finished in the first 2 years they've been in the conference. Haven't finished higher than third. Maybe not even higher. I think they finished fourth, maybe third. But they have not finished higher than third, and that for a fact, the first 2 years. And that was with one of the best freshmen to ever play college football in Johnny Manziel. First ever freshman Heisman winner, a beast wide receiver Mike Evans, and so on and so forth. So that argument kind of irritates me because they weren't. I mean, they were a good team, but they never were a top team in the country. So with the departure of Johnny Manziel, Mike Evans, Luke Joeckel, Luke Joeckel, what the frick? He was last year. Frick, what's that guy's name? They lost another left tackle this past season. I don't know why I can't think of his name. Is it Luke? No. Huh. Man. Jake Matthews. Sorry, frick. I'm going crazy. But they've lost too much, and I don't think they'll. Maybe in the next few years, because they are recruiting very well. But as of right now, I don't think a freshman in Kyle Allen can lead them to the NCAA playoffs. I think they'll be okay. I think they'll make a ball game. I think they might win 7-8 games, but I don't think there's really any chance they can make the NCAA playoffs this season. And I don't think their defense is going to be as bad as some people think. I think their defense is actually going to take a step up as the offense takes a big step backwards. But I think they'll be fine. Kevin Sumlin's a good coach. He'll figure some stuff out. Not 2-4-2. The San Francisco 49ers won the Super Bowl next season if they can get better play from their wide receivers. Defense is fine. I believe the secondary is okay. Linebackers are stout. Offensive line is solid. Running game is pretty solid. Colin Kaepernick has to improve passing, throwing the football. He has to be more consistent, and his wide receivers have to step up. They have some good talent on the wide receivers. They really do. But I think Colin Kaepernick's consistency needs to rise, and their wide receivers needs to step up a little bit more. Because I think they're a solid team. They're a Super Bowl caliber team, definitely. I think for the next unforeseeable future, they're going to be a contender each year. Tyler Mitchell, what are the chances you think Leonard Fournette will get starter snaps by the beginning to midseason with his true freshman year, and how much of a disadvantage is it for players who don't enroll early? What do you even have to do to enroll early? I think by the beginning of the season, definitely he'll be getting snaps. The guy's an absolute beast, and I think he'll be the starter day one, and I think he'll be a starter till his very last day at LSU, which should be 3 years from now. He's an absolute beast, and he'll really help out that LSU team. I mean, Jeremy Hill's gone to the NFL, so he'll step in right away. I'm about 95% sure of that. I don't think it's really a disadvantage. I think it's obviously an advantage for players that enroll early, but I don't think it's really like gonna hurt you too much unless somebody who is fighting for playing time at your position enrolls early ahead of you. But you still, you're in there for a couple months in the summer, so I don't think it's too much of a disadvantage, but I think it's pretty big for the guys to come in early because they get a spring practice in, they get an extra 5 months in. So that's I mean a pretty big advantage. And what do you even have to do to enroll early? You just have to finish your classes depending on your diploma. I'm guessing. Well, you just have to finish all your credits in a certain amount of time. Like I could not necessarily enroll early, but I could have graduated early in December if I wanted to. I'd have had to double up on my core classes my first semester of my senior year. But I didn't want to do that. I just want to enjoy my year. But obviously, if you're somebody going to a big time college and you want to try to get playing time, and you want to get in the system quicker, you can do that. And if you're on I was on honors diploma or whatever it was called. And if you're on like a regular diploma, well, I don't know. This is how it was here at my school. You have lesser credits you have to get in certain areas, so it's probably easier for them depending what diploma you're on. But anybody can do it. You just have to double up on your core classes sometimes and your harder classes, which make it more difficult. But I mean, anybody can do it. I believe. I'm not sure how some other systems work, how other high schools work in different states, but that's how it worked here. And I'm assuming it's pretty similar everywhere else. DJ Hayes asked, how do you feel about the SEC evolving into a complete form of the best conference with all these teams starting to rise in recruiting and competitiveness? I personally like it, to be honest, because it becomes less predictable conference and will no longer be the favorite of the main 5 teams such as LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and Auburn. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think it's really cool to have a good conference from top to bottom, and I think that's been the attacking point for people on the outside, saying that the SEC isn't the best conference, because they've been able to say, oh, you have a Mississippi State who goes 4-8, you have a Vanderbilt who's horrible, you have et cetera, fill in whatever team is not doing it this season. But as you've said, Vanderbilt's made it to a bowl game the past couple seasons. Mississippi State, Ole Miss both made a bowl game the past few years. Arkansas has dropped off a bit, but they've, over the past maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years, been pretty competitive. Texas A&M came in, made a really good impression on the national stage with Johnny Manziel, Mike Evans, and that offense. Even though, like I've said, I think they were a little bit overrated in the terms of complete overall. Well, just really how good they were, because I mean they never really finished higher than third in the SEC West. And then Missouri came in first year, was pretty not so great, 5-7, but they came in last year on the SEC East. So I mean, it is a pretty good conference down from top to bottom, and you have your national powers such as Florida get knocked off by these Missouris, Ole Misses, Mississippi States, and go from top to bottom of the SEC East. Tennessee's been down, but I think they are going to get better with Butch Jones. So I think it is pretty cool because you're going to have solid teams up and down from 1 to 14 in the conference, and I think anybody can win on any given Sunday, any given Saturday. So yeah, I like it too. I don't think there's any reason you wouldn't like that, unless you're some team that likes going through easy schedules and winning every game by 50 points, which I don't have fun watching those kind of games, really. All right, Josh Steen. Man, I'm like halfway. I gotta hurry up, guys. I gotta leave like in 10 minutes. Got to leave at 4:30. 8 minutes now. Josh Steen. I'm a Patriots fan. I think AJ McCarron would be a great fit for them because he's the closest thing to Brady there is. Do you think McCarron is a good fit to sit behind Brady for a few years? Yeah, because I believe they kind of have like the same attitude. I don't think it's necessarily like complete cockiness, but I think they are sure of themselves and they are confident in their ability, which I think, I mean, you need to an extent as an NFL quarterback. You don't need to be so content that you don't feel like you need to work harder, but they're content with how they are, and that helps them in a positive way, I believe. So yeah, I think he's kind of like, he's really close attitude-wise to Brady. Ability, we don't know, because I mean Brady wasn't the best coming out of college. I mean, we all know he's drafted in the 6th round, so it's really how you work once you get to the league and how smart you are. So I think he would be a good fit behind Brady, which it could happen because I know the Patriots and Bill Belichick love AJ and love Nick Saban, so they trust Nick Saban in his evaluations, and they've drafted a couple Alabama players in the past few years. I know I've heard that trading Ryan Mallett, or I can never remember how to say his name. I think it's Ryan Mallett. Has a really big possibility to trade him to the Texans or just any other teams looking for a quarterback. So if they do that, I think they're obviously going to be looking for a second-string quarterback. So I think that'd be a pretty good fit. So it is a possibility, I believe. Tristan Roberts, are you going to make a video about your March Madness bracket? I could. That's a good idea. So I might. So that'll have to come out later tonight. Wish I could do that, because I'm going to be back later tonight. But I have to go to sleep because I wake up at 4:30 tomorrow for practice. But I should. I will I will do that. I will tonight. Noah Lawrence, what are you majoring in? I love these type of questions because they're short. Broadcast journalism. Peter Jenkins, how well do you think the Cincinnati Reds will do this season? Go Redlegs. I think they'll be okay. I mean, I think the Chin-Soo Choo loss is going to be pretty big. I think this offense will still be solid. The rotation is, it's okay. They could use a little bit more help there, but I mean, I think they're in for a wild card run, division run, possibly, but I mean, you have some solid players in that team. So, who? I'm not real sure. Did the Reds add anybody else in that rotation? Because that's like the big question. I know they have a great closer in Chapman. So, wow, I typed in Red Sox. Sorry. I'm not sure. Did they? I know they have a pretty good front end of the rotation. I'm not sure if they added in any back end guys. Because I think that's the big reason the Reds have kind of, I would say, kind of underperformed the past few seasons. They have the offense to do really well, but the back end of the rotation, I believe, has been the okay. Yeah, I'm not too confident in this rotation, really. I mean, Homer Bailey's solid, Cueto, Latos. The 4 and 5 guys are not too. Bullpen looks solid, though. That's really two good 1-2 punch to have in the back end of the rotation in Chapman and Broxton. But, I mean, Johnny Cueto, he's solid. Bailey, all know what he can do. The offense, I mean, still, it's a really good offense. You got Billy Hamilton leading off, Jay Bruce, Brandon Phillips, Votto, Ludwig. So, rotation's iffy, but I think at least an 85 to maybe 91 season, and that should be good enough to help compete for the wild card. So, what do you think about the Bears and Devin Hester parting ways? This was asked by Jacob Gaming. I think, I mean, he wasn't really that big of a part of the offense. He was, I mean, obviously over his career, a big part of the kick return, punt return game. So I think that's going to be a huge loss because, I mean, he's one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. But offensively, it's not a big deal. But I think it is kind of, I mean, he's a fan favorite, so that is kind of a little bit. That's kind of disappointing to see because, I mean, it's kind of, he's been franchised as one of the big names of Chicago, but you know, it's a business and stuff like that happens. So it's sad to see, but some other team's gonna get a. Has he been picked up yet? If he has, let me know in the comments. But yeah, he's a solid player. Somebody will get a good punt returner if he's not being picked up already. Ex-Auburn, thoughts of Alabama not firing Grant. Thoughts of Bruce Pearl possibly coming to Auburn. I don't think it will come unless something big comes open because, let's be honest, Auburn just hasn't been a good basketball school in a long time. I don't know. I don't think there's really anybody else big on the market that Alabama could have really got. I think one more year with Grant can be, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, he's been disappointing. He made the tournament only once, but let's be honest. You talk about Auburn not being a great basketball school. Alabama's really not either. So the expectations can only be so high. Fan support isn't too high either. So I think one more year is okay. And unless there's, I would have liked to see Bruce Pearl. I really would have liked to see him in Alabama. But if he goes to Auburn, which I think could be a possibility because I mean I think Bruce Pearl wants to come back in the SEC. Play against Tennessee, and I think a start at Auburn would be really good for him to get back in the major college basketball coaching. So I think it's a possibility, but I don't think it's completely out of the stretch like you kind of act like it is there. So yeah, I mean I think that'd be an awesome hire. I don't care what anybody says. He's a good basketball coach. Tyler Haney ask how good do you think the University of Oklahoma will do this season? And good. Wait, and do you think Blake Bell? And how good do you think Blake Bell will be at tight end? I mean, he has the body frame, the body size. Well, he's like 6'6". He's huge. He could be a solid tight end. He really could. Maybe use him like in an H-back role, let him play a little bit in the backfield, catch some balls out of the backfield. But use him as a quarterback at sometimes too, maybe in a wildcat. And I think they'll probably still use him in the red zone a little bit. But I think he'll be a good tight end. I think he really will. And I think Oklahoma's poised to have a pretty good season. Big 12 champions, possibly. I think it's a good possibility. But I do want to say that I don't think they're a shoo-in for anything because, I mean, you saw how inconsistent they were last year. They look like a completely different team against Alabama. So I'm not completely sold on them because that's really just one game they played so great. They played good against Oklahoma State too, so you got to give them that. Oklahoma State was really looking good, really good at the time. Oklahoma State was looking really good at the time. So they've had a good last 2 games, I would say, but I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that and say they're going to be the best team in the country next year, because I want to see more than 2 games to be proven that. But with that said, I think they're in for at least a 10-win season. The Rayburn Show says, how do you feel about college football recruits committing early and then recommitting to a different college later on? I think it's just part of life. I mean, it's part of people growing up. Social media, I believe, has a big part on it because guys are getting influenced in every single possible way. They can be Facebook, Twitter, have people, fans of schools, tweeting at them every day, commenting on their Facebook every day, and I think it gets to them sometimes. I think the fame of it kind of gets to their heads because, I mean, it's been their dream to be a big-time college recruit. When you actually feel that dream, you want to try to make as many people as you can happy. So, I mean, as a fan of at Alabama, when a guy decommits, yes, disappointing, but, I mean, you can't fault them too much. At the time, they're probably 17 years old as of right now if they're going into their senior year. So, they're 17 years old, they're going to make mistakes, and it's maybe not really be a mistake. It's just, I mean, decision making is not the best thing, and obviously it's kind of, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you'd like to see some guys stick with their commitment, but I mean, you can understand it to a point if they want to change schools, if they like something else a better fit, makes them happier. So, I mean, you can't fault them for doing what they think is best for them. So that's that. Remo JG says, do you go to Alabama? No, I do not. I go to the University of South Alabama because they offered me a scholarship and Alabama did not. But I am happy with my decision. I think I've said this before. I'm really happy that I chose to go to the University of South Alabama. It's an awesome school, up-and-coming university. I've got great opportunities here that I've not got at South Alabama. I mean, I'm the beat writer. I'm director of sports for a radio station as a freshman. So I'm really happy with my decision, and I would not go back and change one bit. Grant Robinson asks, how do you think Ole Miss will be? How good do you think Ole Miss will be this year and the upcoming years? And as a Bama fan, do you see Ole Miss beating Alabama, LSU, etc., the teams like that? I think they'll be good. Kind of like Mississippi State because they bring back Bo Wallace and nobody else brings back their quarterbacks really. And he's been a solid quarterback. He's been kind of inconsistent, but he's shown a great playmaking ability, and we'll have to see how much he's going to progress into a senior season. They have some playmakers. They have recruited really well. I think I put a little bit too much hype on them going into last season because that one recruiting class, and looking back, I shouldn't have done that because that's one recruiting class. You got to build depth every year. So Hugh Freeze can recruit really well, and they had another good recruiting class this past season. So I think that's going to end up eventually building up. Will they be as good as an LSU or Alabama? I wouldn't say so, but it's not out of the question. Could they this year? I mean, possibly. I mean, they bring back a lot more than a lot of other teams do. So it's a possibility. But as of right now, I wouldn't say so. But if they can keep recruiting on the level they have been the past few years, I think it's a really, really, really good possibility that they could be as good as the other teams. And do I see Alabama beating one of these schools? I mean, yeah, I think they get maybe 1 or 2 wins against the teams that people would say in the Power 5 in the SEC. I really could see that because people lose so much this season. Teams in the SEC do, so it's wide open. Jackson Bear 1, I meant to say NCAA 15 is bummer it's gone. Also, your thoughts on free agency. One thing, it's been crazy. Like, I've never seen a free agency like this. Like, everybody is getting cut. Everybody's leaving. Everybody's going to a different team. It's crazy. Like, man. Titans have gotten some really good players. Michael Ower, Dexter McCluster, Wesley Woodyard. They did lose Alteron Vernon, which is kind of disappointing. But they brought in some good pieces. I really like it, and it's just crazy seeing all the players leave. And that's one of the problems that the cap brings. I mean, you see veterans that's been with the team for over 10 years getting cut because of the cap space. So That's one negative the cap space brings. I've never been a fan of the cap space. I mean, obviously, a team from New York's gonna be able to spend more money than the team in Jacksonville. So, I mean, that's just how it is, and I mean, it's fair because it's that team bringing in the money. So, I've never been a fan of cap space, and I think it's just part of the business that one team should be able to spend more money than the other because they make more. I mean, that's, I think, how it is. That's how it is in baseball. If baseball gets a cap space, I'm gonna hate that, man. That I don't think they will. And I mean, it's possible for teams to compete. You've seen the Oakland Athletics. They spend 40, no, I think it's 4 or 5 times less than the New York Yankees do, and they in the past few years have been more competitive than the Yankees have been. So that's my thoughts on free agency. Darth Aaron asks, will you give your biggest fan, Darth Aaron, a shout out? Peace and blessings, fam. Yeah, shout out to Darth Aaron. He's in the comments. Go subscribe to his channel. He's actually one of my good friends. Been friends with him all throughout high school. He goes to my college now. So go subscribe to him. He has like 8 subscribers. Get him 20. Get him 20. Alright. Not 242. Darkhorse in the Pac-12 next season. Give me a second on this one. Darkhorse in the Pac-12. Give me Give me Washington State. Completely off the wall, but I mean, obviously you're gonna have the Oregons, the Stanfords, the UCLA. They're all gonna compete. USC even possibly, but those are your main candidates, and neither of them, if I chose them, would be a dark horse. So completely off the wall dark horse. Watch out for Washington State. They bring back a ton, and they were solid down the stretch. They won 6 games, so watch out. Good question here from Tyler Mitchell. You're an NFL GM. Honestly, Zach Mettenberger or AJ McCarron? Tough. I think Zach Mettenberger has the more talent, the stronger arm, but less mobility. Been a little bit more injury prone. I think AJ has the more football smarts, better decision making, and I think this is really the first year that Zach Mettenberger played solid throughout the whole entire year. He's really inconsistent the years before. So, talent alone, I think Zach Mettenberger I'd pick, but everything else, depending on what your area is, you could have scenarios where you pick either. But for me personally, man, I don't know. I would probably, completely honest, probably pick AJ. I probably really would for some different reasons, but I think I would. It'd be tough. But it would have to depend on the scenario. It depends what I'm looking for. But I think as of right now, I'd probably pick AJ, honestly. Jack Moore, who's your pick to go all the way in this year's NCAA tournament? Also, you should make a video you filling out your tournament bracket. That's a good idea. I will do that. That's an add-on to somebody else's question. I was just gonna get on here and like talk about it, but that's cool. I'm gonna make as I'm filling out my bracket. I'll do that because. Honestly, I'm not nowhere near knowledgeable in college basketball as I am in college football. I know a little bit, but not a lot. So that'll help me not put a lot of analysis into it. But I'll do that. That's what I'll do. I'll make a video filling out my bracket and provide a little bit in why I fill out each one. And today's selection Sunday, so I believe. So yeah, I'll do that. Oh, who's my pick to go all the way in this year's NCAA tournament? I'm rooting for Wichita State. I really am. Also, I'm going to root for whoever wins the Sun Belt, which is going to be the Georgia State or Louisiana Lafayette because South Alabama's in the Sun Belt. But I think it's probably Florida really is going to go all the way. I have a feeling Florida is, and I like Virginia too. No, like them. I like them how good they've been playing down the stretch. They've got hot lately. I like Virginia too. Florida, Virginia. If NCAA, this is asked by DJ Hayes, if NCAA doesn't want student athletes to receive money from anyone, i.e. companies, people, and etc., what is the problem with EA and NCAA? I'm just confused because all we want is to play as our favorite college football team. It's not about the players, it's about us college football fans. NCAA has lost a legitimate branding partner. I just think it's all nonsense, and you can't really not create players with real likeliness, with real player likeliness, because then it won't be realistic to us. I don't know. I think it's really stupid too. But the reason I believe they did that is because they've been getting so many lawsuits, and they just try to take their name out of it so they can't lose any more money. I think that's the big problem with it. And I don't understand why they don't let players profit from their likeness. If they're not in college, they can't. Just because you're playing college football, why should you not be able to use your likeness for profit? Right now, if some company wanted to make me in a video game, I can do it. I'm in college, but I just don't play college football. What's the difference? What's the big deal? I just don't understand that. I really don't. It makes no sense to me. I could be in a video game with no penalty whatsoever, but the guy next to me is a walk-on for my school, this tall, but he made the team still. He could be penalized heavily for using his likeliness for a video game or anything else. So that just makes no sense to me, and I wish they would change that. This is such an unnecessary rule, just trying to provide their power. It's so stupid. But anyways, one more question, because the other one is the same exact question from Joe Stork asking if I go to Allen Bryant. Last question from ex-Auburn. You're a coach. Let's say I'll use Auburn for an example. Say you got Nick Marshall, a possible finalist in New York. He took you to a national championship, even won it. Maybe even won it. That is irrelevant. You have a QB like Jeremy Johnson, but he has a better spring. Would you play JJ or NM? A lot of Auburn fans think JJ is the better all-around QB. Would you play NM because of his experience, or would you go with the new guy? I believe if NM had not been able to go versus A&M, NM would have not seen much of the field the rest of the season. Okay, he's asking, would I go with the experienced guy or a new guy that had a better spring? I think I would go with Nick Marshall because, for one, this is a senior season. He's shown he has the experience. He's shown that he can bring a team to a national championship. So why should you doubt him? That's the thing I should say. Jeremy Johnson has another couple years to grow, develop, get better, and years to prove himself. So I give Nick Marshall, like you say, a Heisman candidate, a chance. I don't think I really should even say a chance. I'd say, just give him the job. He earned it. He did well last season. He did as good as he can do. He provided one of the most exciting seasons in program history. So, why not? What's the big deal? Yeah, if Jeremy Johnson has a better spring, look forward to it in the future. But let him sit another year. Give Nick Marshall a shot. Cause that'd be wrong to give a guy that just won the national championship, played a great season, and just take it away from him because you have a young guy. So, yeah, that's kind of not necessarily contradictory, but that's kind of against some people's philosophy, I guess, when it comes to football. But it doesn't get much worse than the national championship. So why take all that away from one guy because one guy you think is better when the guy went as far as you can possibly go? So hopefully that makes sense. But I would give the shot to Nick Marshall once again. So that is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Leave a question in the comment section below. Once again, I'll try my best to make a few videos this week. I have a video that's ready to upload, and I need to do that. I think the thing that turns me off about making videos right now is the tags and the title. That takes so long to make the tags, writing down the tags and stuff. But I'll try my best to make a few videos this week, and no promises. But I will try my absolute best to make a March Madness bracket video, and that's really easy to make, so I'll do that. But anyways, hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a question in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys next Friday. Have a great week, and as always, roll Tide, go Sox, and go Titans to you. Have a great week, guys. Peace.